The Ghana Immigration Service says it has identified nearly 30,000 travelers who arrived into the country through the Kotoka International Airport who would have to be tracked and tested for COVID-19. These travelers arrived in the country between March 3 and 20, shortly before the closure of the country's borders. President Akufo-Addo on March 21 directed that all travelers who arrived within the period be traced as part of an aggressive attempt to stop the spread of the pandemic. The Ghana Immigration Service says 28,000 of the 34,000 have been processed to make the data user-friendly for contact tracers. Maxwell Agbagba had exclusive access to how the process is going and has come through with this report.
In normal times, you'd find people milling around the luggage carousel and the conveyor belt here. But that is not the case today, as this airport is empty with no activity. This is a reflection of what is happening in many parts of the world. Well, we've been speaking to the man in charge of the information system here at the Kotoka International Airport. He's been telling us about how they are generating data to help the contact tracing team.
You search through for the card that the traveler completed when he arrived on the day in question. Yes, and from there you are able to extract the address that was stated on the card and then the telephone number that was given as well.
Okay. So
yeah, we compile for the entire flight for that day and then we send it to the headquarters for onward development of the list. Yes.
I'm here at the headquarters of the Ghana Immigration Service. The contact tracers, they are working from one of the rooms here. And these are contact tracing developers. What they do here in this room is to work on the data of persons who came into the country from March 3 to March 23. That was the period before Ghana's borders were shut. So what they are doing is to work on the data of about over 30,000 people, and they're making the data user-friendly here in this room. I've been speaking to the Chief Superintendent, Lydia Archer, who is the leader of the team here. And she tells me that so far they've worked on about 28,000 persons. And this is what we have here. This is just part of what they've worked on, so far.
And we are looking at about 400 plus flights that came within that period. And then about 34,000 plus passengers. Yes, and then so far we've been able to clean and disseminate about 28,500, and work is ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the COVID-19 operations room here at the Ghana Immigration Service. This is where all the coordination, takes place. You remember the Ghana Immigration Service put out a notice out there that if you have any family member, any friend, or any tenant who came in within the period that was announced, you should call. Well, if you call, this is where your call will normally come to, and persons here will respond, to it. I've been speaking to the coordinator of this operations room, and he's been telling me about what they've been doing here at this place.
We monitor the border patrol activities. You know that the borders are locked down, and what we have to do is to patrol 24/7 across the borders.
I've also been speaking to the Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Ghana Immigration Service, who is also in charge of the contact tracing operations here at the Immigration Headquarters, Samuel Amadou Basinteli. He says that so far, so good with the contact tracing, but there's still more work to be done.
Oh, well, so far, so good. But there's still a lot of work to do because Accra is a big region. And we have over 30-something thousand passengers to trace within who entered the country between the 3rd of March until the lockdown. So that is a huge responsibility, but we are doing our best.
This is what a typical contact tracing process looks like. Here in this community at Ashoman, we are told that there was a positive COVID-19 case some days ago. Health personnel and the Ghana immigration officers here are helping, taking samples for them to be tested at the Noguchi Memorial Institute.
Currently, we are working hand in hand with the Ghana Health Service, tracing contacts of people suspected to have come in touch with the with a confirmed case in the area. So we are working hand in hand with the Ghana Health Service. In as much as we are part of the contact tracing team, we also provide security in the sense that some areas, they don't try to welcome us, they don't try to understand the situation. So in a case where we think that it may be rowdy, then we quickly call in the rapid response team.
And that's exclusive access and a very detailed report from Maxwell Agbagba. If you've been wondering how the Immigration Service is working on those contacts, the records that they have of people who entered the country before the lockdown. There you go. I hope that you have a better understanding